Hi, welcome back to my channel IT Cheer Up. Let's talk about DevOps Engineer certification today. Should you really get the certification? In my last video about hot topics in cloud computing 2022, I mentioned one of the key trends on the DevOps best practices, accelerating DevOps stack by expanding more ops areas such as data ops, AI/ML ops, and DevSecOps. All these areas will be unite cross-functional efforts of software development, data-driven analytics, AI/ML, security, and operations. Since DevOps is a key trend in the cloud computing, more companies are looking for the DevOps engineers. DevOps position is consistently ranked among the highest paying salaries. Getting DevOps certification will let you learn comprehensively on the DevOps, build on the hands-on experience, and increase the chance of getting a good job. Even if you are working in the other roles such as architecture, data engineer, data scientist, or the security office, knowing DevOps will also help you to adapt the DevOps best practice when you are working in a cross-functional team. So I decided to get my DevOps certification this year, and I will share with you my learning journey on the DevOps. So far, I assessed 3 DevOps engineer certifications from the public cloud providers, AWS, GCP, and Microsoft Azure. All 3 certifications covered very similar areas in the DevOps, such as containerization, automation, CI/CD, infrastructure as code, monitoring, logging, optimizing service performance, instant and event response, high availability, and disaster recovery. AWS DevOps certification focuses on its own infrastructure as code service, such as CloudFormation instead of Terraform, as I saw in the GCP and Microsoft certifications. Both GCP and Microsoft DevOps certifications will test the practice of site reliability engineering. From the cost standpoint, GCP certification costs $200, which is less than the other 2, and no prerequisite, as I saw in the Microsoft certification. Since I didn't learn Microsoft Azure yet, I will go with the Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer certification to also learn SRE and Terraform besides other topics in the DevOps. The cost of certification is not cheap, so pick up the one that you really want to learn to get the best result from your investment, both your money and your time. There are also other DevOps-related tools certifications, such as for Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Ansible, and Terraform, etc. Personally, I think the DevOps Engineer certification from the public cloud providers will cover some of these tools, so you don't need to spend extra money to go through the exams. Of course, if your company will pay for the expense, then definitely to get them to boost your resume. If you really want to get extra tool certification besides DevOps engineer from the public cloud providers, then I would suggest you get a Terraform certification. Terraform is very popular these days. It is a great infrastructure as a code software tool that is used to deploy and manage cloud infrastructure across one or multiple cloud platforms. As I mentioned in the Hot Topics Cloud Computing 2022, that the multi-cloud adoption will grow in 2022. So that's why I suggest you get a Terraform certification if you have extra budget on the certification. I listed the links of 3 DevOps engineer certification from the public cloud providers and the Terraform certification for your reference. In the next video, I will continue to share my DevOps learning journey on how to prepare learning materials for Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer certification. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe to my channel for more great cloud computing learning tips. See you next time. Hi, welcome back to my channel, IT Cheer Up. Continue to share my DevOps Engineer certification learning journey. In the last video, I picked up Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer certification after assessing the other DevOps certifications. In this video, I will show you how to prepare learning materials for Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer certification. My first learning materials are from Google Cloud Self. The similar learning materials for my other Google Professional certifications, such as Cloud Architecture and Cloud Data Engineer certifications. Usually, these learning materials are for 1 month free. I got free access to all training on Google Cloud Skills Booster and the first month free access to all Google training on the Coursera on November last year. You can go to Google Cloud, your no-cost learning path offer page to register your 30-day free training access, or you can go to Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer certification page, then go to the learning path to register from over there. Now let's take a look at the Skills Booster first. If you have other Google Professional Cloud certifications, such as Cloud Architecture or Cloud Developer, then you don't need to go through all the labs and courses. I only highlight 3 quest learnings. The first one is deploy to Kubernetes in Google Cloud. I strongly suggest you do it if you have no knowledge to the Docker and Kubernetes. Otherwise, you can skip it. The second quest learning is optimize cost for Google Kubernetes Engine. I strongly suggest you do every lab in this one, and no matter if you already have the other Google Cloud certifications or you are familiar with Kubernetes. And pay attention especially on the GKE auto-scaling strategies and GKE workload optimization. You will have questions on those topics in the exam, and it is very important to understand GKE auto-scaling strategies to work as the DevOps engineer. Also, you should pay attention to GKE videos and articles I list here besides Google GKE documentations. The third quest learning is managing cloud infrastructure with Terraform. Again, I strongly suggest you do every lab in this one too if Terraform is new to you. Also, you can learn the Terraform for GCP in Terraform website, Terraform GCP tutorial that shows you step by step to start Terraform basics for the GCP. Next training material is from the 1 month free access in Coursera. There are 5 courses in the Preparing for Google Cloud Certification Cloud DevOps Engineer Professional Certification course. These courses provide you comprehensive information on GCP, hands-on labs in the quick labs, and the sample exam questions. Take the benefit of the free enrollment option. Save the PDFs of the slides from these courses to review them before the exam. If you already have Google Professional Cloud Architecture or Developer certification, then you may just want to take the labs and review the PDFs. I did take a course on 2, 4, and 5, and all the labs, but quickly review the PDFs on the course 1 and course 3. You should also try the quizzes in the courses and the sample questions in the Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer certification page. You can retake the sample questions as many as you want. The answers of the sample questions in that page will help you on some questions in the exam. I will go through the details in the after-exam recap video. The next step is to determine the learning materials by assessing your knowledge gaps on the DevOps against the exam guide. I will show you how I assessed my knowledge gaps. Section 1 and Section 5 are on SRE. If you have software development and production support experience, then you don't need to go through any SRE books. Reading the Google the Site Reliability Workbook should be good enough. I also reviewed several Google SRE and DevOps related videos such as Class SRE Implements DevOps, SRE Virtual Launch and Learn, and DevOps vs SRE from CloudLex, etc. In the next video after the exam recap, I will show you the videos and the chapters that you definitely need to review before the exam to help you answer the questions in the exam. Section 2 is on CI/CD pipeline. Again, if you have software development and production support experience, or if you have cloud architecture or developer certifications, then you shouldn't need to spend extra time to learn CI/CD concepts. I also explained the CI/CD in the Professional Cloud Architect case study Dress for Win, so you can check on that video. When I took the Cloud Architect certification exam, it was focused on the container registry instead of artifact registry, so I needed to learn artifact registry. Besides reading the Google documentations on artifact registry, there are also several good article registry videos that you should review. I collected the GCP DevOps Engineer certification learning list for your reference. I will also need to learn the Terraform and the Spinnaker since I didn't use them before. I have the hands-on experience on Kubernetes, GKE, Cloud Build, Jenkins, so I will focus on the performance optimization and operations on those topics. The secrets management didn't cover in my last minute cheat sheet on the Google Cloud Security, so I will take a look at the secrets management for the CI/CD pipeline. Sections 3 and 4 are on Google Cloud's Operation Suite, formerly Stack Drive. The exam didn't use Stack Drive anymore. Instead of 5 services in the Operation Suite: Cloud Monitoring, Cloud Logging, and Cloud Debug, Cloud Trace, and Cloud Profile in the Application Performance Management. If you have a GCP Cloud Architecture or Developer certifications, you should already have the knowledge on these 5 services. So I will focus on the metrics, dashboard, roles, and how to configure these services. I also needed to learn the third-party tools that are mentioned in these 2 sections. So you can see this is my final knowledge gap assessment. In the next video after exam recap, I will share exam tips and the final updated learning materials based on the question in the exam. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe to my channel for more great cloud computing learning tips. See you next time. Hi, welcome back to my channel, IT Cheer Up. Continue to share my DevOps Engineer Certification learning journey. In the last video, I shared how to prepare learning materials for Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer Certification. Now let's recap after the exam. I will share the exam tips and revisit the learning materials based on the questions in the exam. You can register for the exam on the day that you are ready for the exam. Click the Register button from Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer site, then log in with your account username and password, or create a new account if you don't have the account yet. Since I already passed the DevOps certification, it will not show the Buy Now button. Let me try the one that I didn't take the exam to show you what it looks like. You can choose either an on-site or online test. After you click the Buy Now button, it will let you to choose the exam date and exam time. You can see every 15 minutes there is available test time, so you can register for your exam maybe in 2 or 3 hours in the exam date to avoid any rescheduling. The exam link will be available 15 minutes before your exam. It did take me almost 15 minutes to get into the online exam waiting room, and then another 10 minutes check-in due to the high volume online test requests. I did even contact the support during the waiting time, so you may want to have your cell phone with you and write down the support contact information just in case if there's really a tech issue, and also do the tech check before the exam. I prepared for almost 3 months before the exam. I didn't feel that the Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer Certification exam was difficulter than the GCP Cloud Data Engineer Certification exam, but it was a little bit harder than the GCP Cloud Architect Certification exam. It was focused on the DevOps hands-on experience and solving the real-life production and operations issues. So I suggest you try to get the Google Professional Cloud Architect Certification exam first to become familiar with the GCP services and the exam itself before the other Google Professional Cloud certifications. You may feel the DevOps Engineer's exam difficult if you don't have any software development or production support experience. You should have enough time to read and understand each question. So don't rush in to complete the exam. You can flag the questions for later review and select your best guess for the questions that you are unclear the correct answers. You will receive either pass or fail at the end of the exam. There's no official passing score from Google. It will take Google within 10 days to evaluate your exam result before Google released your certification information. I got my certification evaluation done in 3 business days. Google will also give you a certification gift after you pass the exam. I pick up the eco-quilted vest. It is a better gift than the backpack I got for my Cloud Architect certification. If you failed on the first attempt, then you need to wait 14 days to re-register for your second attempt and pay for each attempt. Please review my Google Professional Data Engineer Certification exam lesson learned on the second attempt. In the next video after exam recap part 2, I will dive deeply into some exam topics and highlight the actual links that help you to answer the question in the exam. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe to my channel for more great cloud computing learning tips. See you next time. Hi, welcome back to my channel IT Cheer Up. Continue to share my DevOps Engineer Certification learning journey. In the last video, after exam recap, I shared the Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer Certification exam tips. Now let's continue the after exam recap video part 2. Deep dive into the exam topics from the learning materials based on the questions in the exam. Now let's revisit the learning materials based on the exam. I felt I spent too much time on some of the exam topics that did not appear in the exam or just some basic questions. The others I thought I already learned comprehensively but still weren't clear with the answers. So in this video, I will share the actual links that I strongly suggest you read before your exam, because these links will help you to answer the exam questions. Keep in mind, my lesson learned is based on the 15 questions that appear in my exam. If you have any knowledge gaps on the DevOps after your knowledge gap assessment, then you still need to learn them to make sure you can do it in your job as a true DevOps engineer instead of just passing the certification. If SRE is new to you, then you definitely need to read the Site Reliability Workbook. If you already have software development and production support experience, then just read the actual links I list here, especially developing a Google SRE culture course and SRE virtual launch and learn. Pay attention to the Q&A part of a SRE virtual launch and learn. It did provide answers for at least 3 questions in my exam. There are no hands-on related questions or production issues on the third-party CI/CD tools or the tools for the Google Cloud Operations Suite, such as Jenkins, Terraform, Datadog, Splunk, Grafana. Just some basic questions on those tools. So I don't think you need to read some extra document from this tool's website. I didn't even have a question on Prometheus. So you just focus on the document from Google Cloud on how to integrate these tools with Google Cloud, except Kubernetes secrets from a Kubernetes website. In Google Cloud's Operations Suite, formerly Stackdriver, pay attention to the Operations Suite on GKE, VPC flow logs, custom and external metrics, troubleshooting, access control, and security. If you have more questions on Operations Suite, please leave your comments and stay tuned for the last-minute cheat sheets of Operations Suite. The last extra links that you should review before the exam are the links from Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer sample questions. Those links helped me solve several questions in the exam. You can get the full list of learning materials and extra links from my training site, and stay tuned for deep dive for some topics in the DevOps. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe to my channel for more great cloud computing learning tips. See you next time. Hi, welcome back to my channel IT Cheer Up. In this video, I will share the last-minute cheat sheet on Google Cloud Operations Suite for your Google Professional Cloud DevOps Engineer Certification exam. The video will focus on observability, monitoring, and logging topics in the exam. You can check my DevOps Engineer Certification Learning Journey videos on how to prepare for the certification exam. Since this is a last-minute cheat sheet, I will not go through the details of each individual Google Cloud service and the external tool. I must admit that I was confused with observability, monitoring, and application performance management APM. Are these three the same things, or any affiliation among them? After reading many articles and watching the videos, I found that this diagram really helps you to quickly understand the relationship and the difference among them, so that way you can decide your order to learn those concepts. This diagram is from the course Logging, Monitoring, and Observability in Google Cloud. There are 4 areas in observability. You can see the cloud monitoring, cloud logging, and cloud trace from the operation suite will capture the metrics, logs, and trace data. Then to visualize them, such as in the dashboard, Explorer, and analyze them from the services, Cloud Debug, Cloud Profile from the APM. The visualization and analyze tools can help troubleshooting the instance. Managing the instance needed to be in compliance with SLO and track error budgets. So the learning order should be observability architecture, cloud monitoring, and cloud logging from the operation suites. Then the last one is the cloud trace, cloud debug, and a cloud profile from the APM. This is one of the best solution architectures articles I read so far for hybrid and multi-cloud monitoring and logging patterns. This one provided the answers for the questions in the exam. You should get familiar with the decision tree for your use case. Hybrid GKE monitoring with Prometheus and cloud monitoring. Export metrics from Prometheus to Grafana for logging with Fluted, and cloud logging for hybrid GKE and export the logs use Fluted. You can check the details of GCP services summary and operations such as cloud monitoring, cloud logging, cloud trace, cloud debug, cloud profile from a Google Cloud page. Here is my cheat sheet with the keywords to memorize for the exam. I also shared my last-minute key points of cloud monitoring, cloud logging, error, and instance management in my training site. Please leave your comments if you have any questions of the individual service in the operation suite. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe to my channel for more great cloud computing learning tips. See you next time.